Yahoo! Today we are continuing our Limbus journey, and today we are starting the new intervallo, which is twinning. It might be twinning, but I'm not really sure. Twinning threads? I don't know if it's twining or twinning, but twinning threads. Let's go with that because I think that's a bit easier for me to say. Have a good stream. Thank you, Kapen. Thank you for dropping by. Alright, so this just came out yesterday. We're probably gonna be a bit delayed. We're probably gonna do maybe like half or a little bit of it, and then we'll do the rest next week. But yeah. I'm kind of excited for this because do you know who's still asleep? Greg. The ever-present Greg. I got you. There you go. And the pudding head, yes. We awaken before we enter the game. I'm actually kind of excited about this because I mean, we do have intervallos before. I think I said this on Discord, but we did have intervallos before that are, in fact, yeah, you know, epilogues to the previous things that we did in the canto that came before. But this one feels like very direct. Like, at least when I watch a trailer, it feels very direct in like the weight of continuing from the... What do I call it? From the canto? Because going from Canto 8 into Sprinkled Evasion, the theme got very much more lighthearted. And then this time, it seems pretty serious. I don't know how serious it's gonna be yet until we get in there, but yeah. Hello, welcome, Amana, welcome. Alright, so in terms of bonus units, I tried checking earlier. I don't have any of the new ones, of course. I have not yet like rolled or sharded much of them. So yeah, maybe we could shard these two, but no, but then if I replace too many people in the team, they're just gonna be useless if they die. So, okay, for now, we're just gonna be doing Yisang and Otis. They'll be sitting on the bench on the ring IDs. It's okay, it's not the end of the world if I don't have that bonus. I can just grind a little bit more. I mean, I need to get into the habit of doing my mirror dungeons more often, right? So it's okay if I have to grind that more. Because I slipped a few weeks. I think I slipped like 2 weeks. I was doing it consistently. After a certain point, I was doing it consistently, then I slipped for 2 weeks, and then now we're here. I'm already on floor 4. Like, see? Trust. I'm actually making progress. I'm in, like, Mirror Dungeon Rehab. I'm on Mirror Dungeon Rehab so that I'll eventually get to it, you know? You don't have Rodion, but you did put Mersault in the support list if you want. Okay, I'll borrow the Mersault so that we could, like, at least have a bit more upwards there. And it starts with this. How many nodes? I can't tell. 1,000 till we get Mersault. That's gonna be a while. But yeah, if we just borrow a Mersault or Rodia, either way, as long as we get an extra bonus on top of those two, that's fine. I think I'll borrow Mersault though, because Rodia is in the front line of our Heisho team. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. Oh, damn. You want to know how many nodes? Yeah, sure. That would be helpful for planning where we can stop. Because I know we're only gonna be able to do like roughly half today. Sorry guys, I'm getting backgrounds. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout the journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. 13 no dungeon? Ah, nice. Then we could stop at like a 6 or a 7. No, I walked right into it. But yeah. Because, you know, 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So, node 6 or node 7 should be a decent part to end off. Am I doing this? It wasn't on purpose. It's genuinely what you get when you divide 13 by 2. It's 6.5. And you can't do half a node, so... It wasn't on purpose. I'm so sorry, guys. It just seems to come up often. Even in Paranormicide, the NPC was diver rank 67. It wasn't. That was not my decision. Am I doing this right? Okay, wait. Seriously. This is like the funeral. We gotta be more serious. Most of the sinners seem to be feeling the similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Mersault, apparently, the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to the funeral processes and etiquette, all manner of questions for pointers. Sometimes you wish you had Permaban for that meme. Well, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I accidentally initiate it, like just now. But then, yeah, you know, if you hear it like all the time, every day, something can get old. Especially if it takes like forever. Even if you, like, well, even if you found it funny at first, it could get old. But then, you know, yeah. I get what you mean. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Imagine hearing it every day. I'm glad I don't. Beneath the pillar to the right. The third pillar to the right. Can any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Otis is now scolding us too. She's scolding us beyond the screen. Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals at all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30. Page 30 onwards! Okay, sorry, Ishi, but I think I would start fizzling out too. A wall of text manual about... That's pretty crazy. Oh, it's 14? Okay, so 7 then. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Who the fuck writes a 30-page plus manual in funeral etiquette? Yeah, right? I don't think you need that many pages. I think I'd fizzle out too. I think you could probably, like, summarize it into, like, maybe 2 or 3 if you had to be super detailed. 5 at a bit of a stretch. 30 plus is a bit too much. Thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? One bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died. Oh no. Right. Because that wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Oomphy. Sorry. I can't read it properly, so I still default to Oomphy. To involve the Oomphy Association's notarization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Sounds a lot like Wuthering Heights. I mean, they are talking about it. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it. Forsooth, yet 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It's okay. It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. That's tough. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? They didn't even nickname her, they just gave her whole name, Catherine. It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it, not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we'd just check in on the others' memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it is that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will... It's because he didn't get his fucking violin. I assumed that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals. But apparently not, huh? No, well... I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled quite around myself, but I can't confidently say I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and had a formal reading of the will. It seems that funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Well, if people die every day, it's pretty tough to keep holding funerals every day. Funerals are considered rather extravagant practice here as well. I mean, yeah, it could be really expensive too. Corporations are not eager to grant time offs just because an irrelevant someone has died. and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? I wonder if they go straight to cremation here? We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone. Just like that. Oh. You leave it to the sweepers? Better than paying loads of money to bury him somewhere just to have them stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthetic. All that rot. No, calling on grave diggers. Better to let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. In Hongyuan, people tend to set up graves even if they have enough room to spare. Of course, that wasn't a guarantee that they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Otios. Wow, I've never heard that word. Otios foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed? Another mendacity. Hohenheim, you gotta stop bringing up words that... I mean, I get what he's saying. It's just getting shocked every sentence that he says. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart, or something said to convince himself? Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Eliza, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. World's worst, I don't give a fuck. He might be crashing out. I mean, yeah. It happened again, and he lost someone very precious. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with the crackle of firewood. I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh, we're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Oh, speaking of which, is he back this canto? Dante says we'll be here until Gregor's condition settles. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumner's father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there's no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, that's to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time. No! No, I already have so many people who are going to be on the bench. So you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LCE wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means I'm telling you what I'm telling you is more a notice of investigation than a request for permission. What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. It's just human experimentation. Get over it. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy, and that's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... I am not giving you my consent! For your reference, the other departments have also submitted quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get a boss to fend off LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. Metamorphosis. Yeah, metamorphosis mentioned. Had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do is be a good boy and cooperate. To thank us is to be a good boy and cooperate. Just in time. Our researchers are here. You want to watch Twitter? It was that whole sign thing with the future. The smoke wire. It's gonna happen again. Elisa waved. I keep changing the way I say her name, but yeah, okay. Elisa waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Beset by enemies on all sides. Good luck, Sinclair. Oh wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was to offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into a full-blown panic at any minute. What about you? Not going with them? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book marginally. Based. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. As soon as Alisa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, you all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I would go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Yeah, let's go see him. I got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. Oh, we're all splitting up. The sinners fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run. During our stay at the LCE, everyone's busy with their own thing. Alright, it's time for me to go visit Kim. No, the only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who had been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffling and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Is she accessing the Jessel shaft? You seem to have time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. I hope we're not super split up again, because then the people on my bench will have to come out in front, which means I'll probably have to borrow a version of them that is like significantly leveled up to level 60. Because I have people on the bench who are just not quite ready. Hard G. Wait, what? Hard G? Goes back up. Oh, guess you'll get. So this makes things rather convenient. There's something I had intended to discuss with you and Sinner Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKOA says CH. Oh my god. Wait a minute, did... oh, she was interpreting for CH. Okay, wait a minute, did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whatever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice of method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. Germany. There is, I admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause, as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with a relentless questioning. Hi, Dawn. So cute. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned like in the likeness of a bowl. A bowl cut. You there? Why don't you join us too? Dost thou speaketh of me? The LCCA personnel who were cornered by Don Quixote and her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment that their captor turned to her head to enter Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. Yes, that is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who would call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to sinner number 4 has been proven to be counterproductive. Thus, as such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. Played like a fiddle. She's so into it. However it is, WKOA, eludes my understanding as well. Pretty, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Tsunariyoshi's. They are asking what kind of assistance you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you. But I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstance is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation to the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deemed that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and sinner number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? HOSRA. You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help, Faust. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately. No. There is one more member you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilt my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She has regained consciousness. Let's go! I wonder how she's gonna act around us now. I mean, we are the enemy before, but that was a pretty tough betrayal from her father, and that was rough. Wonder how she's gonna react. Let's see. It's another story node, Survivor. You did a 10 roll and got Kira? Let's go! Congrats! Let's see. We're gonna see her now, I assume. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. What do you mean this? I mean, it looks okay, right? It looks like a... I mean, aside, like, I guess a bit of, like, the background looks like an interrogation chamber, but you know... Every single medical equipment installed around here seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well-equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room, thick with a sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the sinner's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of extraction? Ah, it hasn't yet begun actually. We were waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Then what you even doing here? There's work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental, it is the result of calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, it would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. And you'll probably die. Is that where he's going? Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor, and the outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Yeah. Hohenheim had always a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he had traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live after I killed a bazillion of your guys. Huh. So you anticipated some form of corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate, such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of information that could be extracted from apprentices of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle, two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. Ha! Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? Well, for one thing, I'm just glad that she's not, like, super depressed. Like, I don't think she's at peace about what happened, but I'm glad to see that she's, like, she's okay. Like, she's relatively okay. Not saying she's in a good state, but she's okay. You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? What the heck are you on about? The other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. So basically, we're being nice to you. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? And the feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned toward the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be all myself today. No, disregard that. That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. Yeah, I mean, like, she was part of the people who were killing them. Who are we talking about again? Kira! What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's exactly why he did that, to aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in a family. Family? Coming from him? A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel? Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's... thrown out. That fucker Matthew... Caught me off guard for a sec. That fucker Matthias was a GB, only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still a family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising, the ST for the bowl cut too. It's the ST for the bowl cut too. Same taste! Young Ryoshi, could it be that thou also does harbor a passionate zeal for nope. That is not where we were going. I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. So what exactly was your point? The point is, you're taking too long. If you can't decide if you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. Seek you, or I'll snap your neck clean this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. Sink isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. This is so crappy. PM doesn't hold back with swear words now. It works though. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. That actually worked? Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually all the strong ones. It's the ones who survive, the ones who live to see another day who keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking in weird-ass abbreviations? Like sink? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshi didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? We're probably the people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone. Block. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides, no? Better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's cause... well, cause Papa was weaker than y'all. Huh. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in an event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. Ah, you won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira tailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Like, I mean, it's not like it's a great situation to be in. She just got bisected. She was recovering. You gave her a weapon, and a weapon she can't unsheath without permission. I mean, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. But it's not exactly something you'd be in a good mood about. Wayfarer. Oh, it's an enemy already. So it's limited? Oh, what? It's not limited, so I can just bring everybody. Okay, so you two are here to be in the band. I can't bring Greg, though. I will borrow the Mersol. I know he's in the front line, but I guess it's fine. There's Mersol. I guess it's fine. It's probably okay. Wait, you're all the way in the front? That's probably not so okay. Wait, let me just reorder them real quick. I almost pressed him first.
의로움을 세우기 위해서라면. 잠깐.
I guess that means I'm bringing all of them in front. There. That's fine. That level 1 is bringing our average level down so far. Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Prithee, who might these people thither be? Look, I know this is probably just their protective gear, but that looks kind of funny. Take it you don't have a working bleed team setup? Nope. They're like a bit behind in levels. Friend swap, man. he comes straight out of a friend swap game. Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from the Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. This is team leader Alan from Lethal Company. I'm kidding. Is that Among Us? If he was chibified a lot, probably would look a bit like it. Wayfarer Company. A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company. We're responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on a prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, although their name is an unofficial one. Our employees also have taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. I remember that company vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free falling at this point. And these are the manager and the sinners of the LCB department, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I have to say their logo is nowhere near as snazzy as the current Lovely Corps. It looks scratched on. I think they could do a little bit of work on that. It doesn't even look like it's smooth on their like outfit. I don't know. I think it's like, I don't even know if those are scratches or they genuinely have like, I don't know, arrows or lines in this area. It makes it look scratchy. Doesn't look HD. Probably is, but you know. I understand. Field operation units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave an understanding nod and the man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in a greeting. What the hell? He looks so nice. Like, I mean like, by nice, I mean like he looks like such a nice guy. Like that's not... His face is so friendly, I wasn't expecting it. I thought he'd be like a more serious dude. Because look, he's even so tall. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. Name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. The two ending is to be portals. I don't understand that one. Hey, but they don't even have company branded energy wrist blades. Yeah, I mean, even if they did, it'd be covered up by that huge bulk. Their suit is so bulky. Hope this is just one of their teams and not all of them look like Lethal Company guys. True. Likewise, before Faust could relay my reciprocal greeting, words spiraled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all. Like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. The two things he said are scratches. Oh. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. Genuinely. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions that T-Corp has leveraged to push your products, and profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Isn't you going in and out? Yeah. I think I see what you mean a bit. Oh yeah? What were we supposed... What? Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists, the public. But what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Oh, thank you. Sure. Faust. Okay. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. I mean, anybody else interpreting him is gonna be kind of weird. Like, Dawn's gonna be like... Well, Dawn could do it, but it might get, like, directly translated when sometimes we don't want it to be. Cursed Pregger on the side. Understandable, have a night. This is why he's out of the team, right? She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question with while Aaron carried on with Hohenheim. He's referring to the Monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how rumors spread, huh? We reviewed the agreements. Now I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you might have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of information that she had. Honestly, I got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo-Unk in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up the door on the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but farm? Oh, it's a gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that? Should come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some back streets area. The back streets. Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally all I've got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And before I could even register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Nah, what? I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that was somehow fell off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. I guess it's something about his company. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... For a moment there, I thought I thought he was gonna hit her again. As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team Leader Alan. Oh my god, and nobody liked that. Even Hohenheim. Bro, Alan, bruh. You fucked up, bruh. You're not... That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I'll keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. He gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So freaking annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate to her lashing out at Alan. That punch just now, though, what was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Let's resume the task at hand. Ryoshu, give Manager Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring protectors. The other two on the left, I remember that they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I have no idea where they led. It's all blurry. It seems like that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping process. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past these doors. Alright, then I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Ryoshu mentioned. The ring door? Huh, you don't trust me at all, do ya? Why'd you even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door appeared before us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. And it's another museum. The instant cut to another museum. Okay. What the? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? What is that behind him? What is that? I know some of these are probably amalgamations, but you know. I'm kind of unsure what I'm supposed to be looking at with this piece. I don't understand art. The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermied animals. Does it remind you of something from Kano 5? I mean, like, yeah, it kind of reminds me a bit of a whale, but then it also doesn't at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, it feels off. I guess that's just part of the ring art, I guess. That's a big tentacle thing. It looks like a tusk, in my opinion. Like this. These parts look like tusks. That's why I was like, I don't know. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit, the scale is just insane! That's the whale from the 8th Association Great Lakes Special Issue! So it's just outright a whale? Ah, that's... I see. It's a pretty wild whale. I mean, I guess the whales could look pretty different. Kira, who seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're... No, duh. Although Robo-Unk did say the ring had these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. Still looks crazy sick though. Vibe really hits. The hell? I like the way she's talking. It's actually making it a bit lighter to read, actually. She's very hip and cool. More hat, I got you. So zoomer, exactly. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horned display off to the side, clearly in a surprised way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity, given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote, oddly quiet. The eye of a second kindred of House Tepes. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite of the whale was some kind of other exhibit. Would it be this? This looks like an eye. Contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, starting with a crimson eyeball that had caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped off of the human body. It's a gallery. Full brain rot, true. Of the school of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that. Which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Hey, yo, Alan, we gotta get out of here. We're kind of... Alan, we're kind of screwed. You gotta open that door fast. Fauve means beast in French. Oh, so that's what the root word is. Probably something's hidden behind the way. I think it's a cross, so I think it was the one over there. Their drip... I was gonna say their drip is kind of sick, but then I said their drick. Tripping over words immediately. The OST is a banger. It sounds quite nice, yeah. Turning towards the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. That presence, it's kinda like Papa's. Oh, ain't no way. That's not a raid boss we can't clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers, who wore a peculiar bone mask, stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried an equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door! Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? Who are you? How's the intervallo? Interesting so far. Not much has happened yet because we're still on node 3, but I think it's interesting so far. Alright. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back then, when I used to visit you as a tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if my memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey. The predator's ferocious yet carnivorously resonant howling. Like the mask? Yeah, it's pretty sick. He's got like the huge horns too. Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? I'm gonna assume it's like Benoit without the T because it has a thingy, but I don't know if that's so right. That's right. Emile or Emily? Emile? Maybe it's Emile. Emile Benoit? As they say, you can't hatch a phoenix without... you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. It looks like that the oi is read like wa. So he's like... Benoit? Benoit? Oh, okay. The OIT was throwing me off. It's kind of like OIR. Okay. Benoit. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tactility of hides and guts made for passable AW. I saw we found another friendship we didn't bring him. Damn. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshu was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I had a feeling that she was in fact dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. The lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence. Don Quixote, who had been soothing the ring members shooting the ring members an intense glare sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without the hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid progress in the speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Yeah, that's gonna be that was gonna be an even worse disaster than what we're already facing, bro. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw where she was looking at, he quickly shut his mouth and said nothing further. A fate in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, it seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Arayashiki. He's gonna try using it anyway. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's dad's any different. Telling him we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be the quite fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses. Ryoshu is the wielder of Arayashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Lei Hung. Do what you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an opportunity to advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowing the flow of time. Oh, so we're gonna summon everyone else. So that's why we had the selection of okay. A cut from Arayashiki. Even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, it might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away. A woman, I mean, like, the name was, I don't know if it's Emily or Emile, but it could have gone either way. Well, then again, PM and names, it could have gone either way anyways, even if it wasn't Emile. Summon the boys in the midst of the world, question mark, profit? Maybe? This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emily? Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Ariashki makes it worth the cost. Emil Sinclair. Whoa, wrong Emil. If you want a taste? Huh? Confusion flickered across Ryoshi's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The lock in the House of Spiders used to bind the Ariashki no longer exists, so why can't I draw the blade? Well, that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? Maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but that was enough to make Ryoshi recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. Assume it's like Emile Sinclair because Emily doesn't sound right. Yeah, because like the Benoit. Maybe it's like Emile Benoit. It feels a little bit close to a tongue twister for me, but yeah. The wound looked nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshi's arm and her own as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Classic P-Moon gender swapping trope. Understandable. Noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student and they will give you the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales, why, it's lamentably disappointing. The maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty, then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, but felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking of the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone but by ligaments that allowed the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admired their structural refinement. The thrice coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and ceiling suddenly began to echo with a sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that? I assume a snake. Which brings me to ask, what is a better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged into her arm the long serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of a nurse father, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute ago, step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with our identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling emotion. And the one who intercepted the blow was Kira! Ah, shit. Was Kira, struggling to push back the serpentine arm with her still-sealed blades. Kira? Kira, we can't bring you back from the dead! Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit, this wasn't in the plan at all. Obviously not, she couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, huh? For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've quite inked out the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. You must be the new kid Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fucked if I know, I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it, they're defo gonna ditch me here. Why'd I even... Must have been instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to flash head-on. Oh, so the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Ah, shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Minoa's arm from the deadlock as well. Maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but... Huh? 'Tis foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in the duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages. Upon seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed her into the arm with her full might, knocking off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. No, Don Quixote! You insta-died! Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. I mean, at least she died by the door, right? Everyone to the door. Faust retrieved the organic remains of sinner number 3. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Ha! All that for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk and that no one in their right mind would want to take. So she lowered her head in defeat, even though as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. No! This is a battle node! I know we have been reading the story for like the past 10 minutes or something, but this is a battle node, Kira. We will get you out of here. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking diving in like that? And I bit my tongue when I was saying no. You don't just stand there. Get over here now. But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I... You TTM. Wanna get leave a nap again? You talk too much. Okay, I got that one. You pin this on me later and you're gonna pay. Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself to the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan, sir, managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the maestro could cross over. Well, that's not so bad. Just having a few students is good for a warm-up. I thought, for a moment there, I thought the battle node would be with the maestro right away, which would have been a bit... I feel like I would have been a bit too soon. More hats, yes. Bowl cut. Think you could still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says. Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members have managed to formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case... Guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I called out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so? Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever... hang on, I just need to finish this bite. Everyone to me! Forget what you're doing right now and to me. But it sounded like they're okay with it, and I mean, they're just at the base. They can't possibly be in danger when we summon them. Yeah. Hi, team. Welcome. Oh, she's here. Okay. So what do they do? I don't have a specific buff, do I? Yeah, I don't. And she just got her thermal blade. What do they do? Feral Falvis, student of the Ring. The Ring, School of Falvism, Fingers student. Artwork preparation. If the target does not have mild color blue, flash power +1. If it does not, okay. What the hell is mild color blue? When hit, gain 1 sinking potency for every 3 stack once per turn. Max stack 9. Turn and lose. So it's like a unique sinking. 5+ stack, lose 5 SP, lose 1 stack. The middle uses their tattoos for self-augmentation. Does that make the Ring's tattoos more brands that when forcibly applied weaken their enemies? If the target has 6+ bleed plus sinking. Point power +1, bleed plus sinking. Okay, yeah, so it is a type of sinking. I mean, if you were in the toilet, I thought you'd just want to pass out. Wait, hang on, Dante. I just gotta. Okay, so same top part here. If the target has 5+ mold color, convert all coins to unbreakable. That's 2 coins. Clash boost, damage does not stagger. Does not trigger sinking effects. Inflict sinking and bleed. If this unit has haste, reuse this coin. Wait, reuse this coin? Yeah, reuse this coin once per skill. Coin power plus every 6 bleed and sinking. At less than 50% HP, or if the target has 5+ mold color. Okay, get unbreakable. So this becomes unbreakable anyways, as long as they're below half. Does not stagger, does not trigger sinking if it's broken. Inflict sinking and bleed. Sinking and bleed if they have haste, reuse. Flashable counter if the target has mold color blue. Oh! So these two are if we don't have mold color. This one is if we have mold color, they get stronger. On hit, inflict mold color. Okay. Intense primary color blue. Before hitting, if the target does not have sinking, inflict 3 sinking. Count once per turn per enemy. Le fauvisme mas de chèvre hibo. I probably said that all wrong. On hit with a skill, inflict 1 mild color blue. Okay, as long as they hit then. If this unit has haste, additional mild color. Gain 1 haste for every 4 mild color inflicted 2 times per turn. There are beasts that fall in and out of vogue within the school of Fauvism, yes. But a true artist must take their fierce pride in the single animal that as the underdrawing which best represents their unique self. Despite this wisdom, however, there are some who flilt from piece to piece, as though the self is nothing more than a costume to be worn and discarded. Okay, stronger, faster, they get flash power +1 if they're killed, inflict 3 mold color blue on 2 random enemies. So we are gonna sink, okay. Chèvre means go. Oh! They are blink, yeah, they bleed and sink. Is this guy different? Impulsive? I assume it's this one that's different, this third skill. More damage for every mold color on the target. Okay, at less than 50% HP, it does become unbreakable. And rouge. Okay, so they do red instead of blue. And then it's the bleed version. And it has the same flavor text. Yeah, so they're the bleed version of those guys. Oh, but this is a different flavor text. On the passives. Gain 1 attack power up for every 4 mild color red. Okay. First step is always but a single animal, and with every quest for art or rarity, another beast is layered atop the previous specimen. When an ally, this unit or an ally is hit, gain 1 offense up per turn. Next turn. Okay, next turn. Man, aren't they kind of a pain in the ass? But it's a regular? Oh, it's a regular encounter. Well, okay, while you're still building up and they're not yet built up also, let's use our stuff. Our weaker stuff. And then on the next turn, we can start using stronger stuff. Because they're also not yet built up. I think... Yeah, I think actually the color stuff is just gonna fly over my head eventually. Neutral. I don't want to risk that right now. It's a clashable counter. What? Okay. If the target has mold color blue, do you have mold color blue? No, you don't. Okay, you're okay. I mean, I can use it, then bring it down. We shall bring it down here, so that's fine too. Oh my god, all green. Are you? I need you to hit. I'll use this so that later I can use your other skill. I don't think Roger's gonna make it, but it is what it is. I just realized that was Faust. Oh my god. Damn, the A-show icon stripped me up a little bit. Let's go, Kira! Getting that high. Oh, nice stagger. Got him to half HP with just that. Nice. Ooh. Do we finish him? Okay, not yet. But a lot of them are staggered. Yeah, 3 of them are staggered. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to be like getting everything on EX on one turn, but that's okay. On one turn, on one try, I mean. But that's okay, even if not. Let's do that. Kira is decently useful, yeah. She did really good with that last attack. That's good to have her there. I mean, it only 10 turns. Yeah, it's 10 turns, but it's taking us a bit to kill the first few guys. I think it'll EX. I think it'll EX. I just mean that in the future, if we don't EX something, I'll just go back to it. It's always like a rude awakening every time I go into a node and I'm like, oh yeah, it was 0 sanity. Yeah, I think it'll EX. Weird. We already killed a bunch of these guys. Okay, okay. I think we already killed the first wave. Yeah. Yeah, we'll make it. That's completely... Yeah, the mirror dungeon. You get so used to it. Or just dungeon in general. You just get so used to the fact that you guys got the... Yeah, let's AoE them, whatever. You get so used to the fact that you get, like, sanity carrying over until, like, the next parts. But to be fair, they're just random mobs. Even if you started a mirror dungeon, you'd probably start with something like this. Except you wouldn't be caring for the turn card. The turn count. Why do I keep mispronouncing so many words today? It's like my brain is thinking about the entire sentence that I'm gonna say, and then my mouth trips over it because I keep combining the words that I'm gonna say together. Thank you for AoE. Whoa! Big Kira stonks? Is she gonna kill this guy in one hit? No, probably not, but stagger at least. Very good! She did very good. Choi has been lacking in Limbus. I went back to Choi. Yeah, she said the thing! It's very cute. I should shard the Ishmael Kira soon. I think I'm gonna start sharding them already. Like slowly, bit by bit. Like Loki, this guy is just going to get staggered right away. Let's just win with that. He'll die. God, imagine if I said that, then I lost the clash and didn't actually stagger. Nah, the battle ends here. They're all staggered. You wouldn't prioritize Kira Ishmael to be... I think what I'm gonna do before her is definitely Riensang. Because I tried to roll for him. That's why my lunacy is in a pathetic amount. Tried to roll for him and then I didn't get him. So I think I'm gonna shard him first. And then I think I was recommended to try getting Honglu next as well. So Honglu and Yisang first, and then I'd start doing the rest of them after. Oh, Rien Sang's main prize and dispenser may be done. Ooh. It's only the first door and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. In Honglu and Fat. Okay, okay. That makes sense. Oh, wait. Actually, in line with the event right now, I'll probably be sharding Honglu and Faust first. Like, yes, Yisang, then Honglu and Faust. That way we could get the maximum benefit from the extra like currency for the event. I swear, I thought that was for me. That was it for me back there. Events of this nature. It won't be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and pick another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first. We wouldn't have gotten cooked. Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust me, weirdos? We would have opened them all in the end of the day. ST. What was that? Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Just spell it out or say it was anticipated. That's WA. Good work, everyone! Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing a first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all means, counts as a flawless expedition. Index ring house spider is strong, understandable. They do seem it. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Favis won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? Right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. We'll probably see them again. Were you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been Ring's turf block, and those Favis beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the Ring. Well, if they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified at what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternative routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. Huh? They could always rush for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvis Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, and the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation's more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is this the new scabbard's fault? Ryoshi lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering was faint. It was seen by all indeed? Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Yeah, I don't see that about it, right? Ryoshi's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be the scabbard seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshi, do you... Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? No, your daughter! It's probably neither of those, nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Please excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're gonna have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too. Are we to return to Headquarters Research Facility, then? No, that won't be necessary. There is a facility here that should prove more than adequate. Oh, we have a little base here? Well, I suppose so. I mean, Alan is not exactly going in and out of the LCB, Limbus Company. Without the B. Yeah. Nice bonus. It's all story again. Relics and the sign. Hey Sinclair, are you here? Turns out they dragged them off over here. Wow. This is their temporary set. That's pretty cool. Owenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables and rows of screens and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following Operation Spider-Pyre. It did not exist prior to the House's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner number 11 sign and the manifestation of a possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Owenheim, how long will the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now, which means that it should be finished in an hour from now at latest. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed, almost like a child trembling. Aww! It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Well, time to get to Sinclair then. Wait. As I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It's Vespa! Oh my god, Dawn, it's Vespa! You were looking for it! It was Vespa Crabbo. A big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack thief? Manager. Karen, snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate all of them. Sorry, but I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding. Verg, kick his ass. Verg, kick his ass, you heard her! Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Karen, super sucky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day. Deploying super fast bitter candy. Beep beep, mode disabled. Not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Karen forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. I best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign off Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate, stuffing it into Vespa! What did we just tell you? Oh, wait a minute, I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know! Yet I still see you gobbling up my share. Ah, he took my snack too, Verg. Kick his ass. This guy is eating everybody's snack. Right after we told him not to do it again. What the fuck? Is this the intervallo? Yeah, this is the new intervallo, so spoiler warning if you're not there yet. Rodion Romanovic. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses, and now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well? Chill. That's what's been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that. Roland, your memory. It's besides, that's that. Sis. The lines on Virgilius' brow look deeper than usual today. I wonder why. Just lined them all out with the I have nothing one so wondering. Just said the thing. Hoping to help him out of this endless cycle of snack-related headaches to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair sign? She pulled an ancient technique to scare Virgilius. Tante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation. No, not picture shocking. Yeah, the mental image of reading out loud. If you weren't reading it like TikToks, as in like the clock thing, the mental image of it being like TikToks as in the app and dances and stuff. Observation of the sign so far has been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information so far has been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Boss has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool of comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. By individuals bearing signs, you mean people like Demian and Sanson? Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some kind of superpowered future self and then just wreck everything? Even Sonia? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Rodya gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe you know, those layers of light rings that Demian used to finish off Cromer or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it. Aye, thoughts seem plausible. So none of that is information we can confirm yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present. Intervallo is quite short, by the way. That's okay. This is at best grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence has been obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. I see, so nothing came out of them dragging off Sinclair for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off and just let it happen anyway? No, I mean... I'm just kidding. I just thought I'd try to get along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. It's really changed lately. For the better, I think. So, did anything happen we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, a small skin sample. Oh, they were also checking if the sign reacts as electrical simulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return? No, I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Faust said that they only existed in my future self, so... Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem. In such a case... that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible features. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by the means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace the path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again. More of that nonsense only you lot understand. Like, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? Then, some part of him's gotta be left somewhere in there, yeah? Like, muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? Heard you kicked off proper out there. Even pulled out that trick you picked up from that plastered old geezer, right? Not only that, he was using the Mang technique quite effortlessly too. What? The glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had two of them coiled around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is the glowing ring thing? Anyone? The glowing ring. I love how they all got so excited though. Had so much of height buff, not gonna lie. I mean, he was older, so yeah. Maybe some techniques that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura makes you real tough is one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? No. Could be a secret finger thing that they pass down to their members. Technique, gear, something like that. Look at it. That black pony leader, the Lehan prank, the nurse fathers we fought. Whole lot of them's a finger, ain't they? The notion seems to unravel, for even among LCD there were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius too. So what? Only the proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners all slowly turned their gaze towards Virgilius and Vespa. Are you still eating? I only learned to wield it from my team leader too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, although they are all without proper sources. Rumors? They circulated among elite fixers and association leadership that there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. He's a snag name. True. A rumor among fixers, sayest thou? Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How to tips really spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. The super rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid. Bro is really popping off with a straight up this sentence. Straight up Oriform with a shiny mang wrapped around the weapon. Must be mine eyes, yet privy to such to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue. Literally the videotape on the back. Maybe you missed it? Video tape? Alas, for many a week I have been stranded from Mephi, reaving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle but the latest one as well. Woe is me. When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. You're surprised that Sinclair is the only one to manifest among of all the sinners yet, like bro was... I mean, it's his future, not like immediately now, so... As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation, so its output is not as consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it's used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say that it exacts toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I've observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not reasonable to assume we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa's brows visibly twitched at the moment Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius' lips. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title, the Yellow Harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes in his clothes, he uses a harpoon too. Can he argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yisang's pre-contract self could learn to manage it. Oh, why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? What, cause you're the wimpiest one here? Don't let it get to you. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume its power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by a contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited, unless you rely on particular identities or come across extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful. Wish Jujutsu Kaisen had K-Corp ampules? Understandable. K-Corp ampules would be pretty useful across like a lot of different series. Every Yen-san was on a fast row. Hey, what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold her question back any longer. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any Shin or Mang. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said he could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that. Ha! It wasn't that he didn't teach you. He couldn't. He was a man who had probably never reflected once upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Vespa's responses always came back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turned to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because this manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. A step out of the line, and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilia said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders, murdered scores of LCE researchers, and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. No contesting that decision doesn't mean that we had no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business, snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around the LCE. It would be so funny if you sang a superstition of all the sinners. Y'all were making fun of him. Here he goes. Your sibling ships, Shiomi and Rien. You're so cooked. It is what it is. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshi returned. Oh, next node. Is it another story node? Or is it a battle node? It's probably another story node, isn't it? A lot of it is story nodes, I guess? Because I don't think we're just gonna get attacked right now. Yeah, we're not. Renketsuen. Okay. It is another story node. Gosh, imagine if we only had one battle node the entire time. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. That was Ryoshi's passive from the Rien fight. Oh, it is what it is, believer. The locus of a will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had taken offense. Hey! Somehow, I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. The scabbard has its own will. Does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It's too premature to deliberate on that matter. The state of existence under question is not one that can be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought to life. Brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing survival is a fixed variable, and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero, given the limits of today's technology and condition. Okay, then make it better. No! Araya! Make it better. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of laypeople like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the possibilities of the present, Master Dante. Such matters are reserved for scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead to restoring Sinner Ryoshi's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end... yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. Alright then, and before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze. Oh no, it's like, any volunteers, class? And nobody wants to volunteer. The sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going on by the way their forks had long stopped moving, it was clear to me they had been intently listening on our conversation. Where are we to go? Right. Sorry. I forgot the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war executive manager? You talking about me? Yeah, I'm working with them too, yeah. Best remember to tread carefully. Should you ever even cause the slightest of harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatevs. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Checking the wiki, it's specifically Araya's ego, Ryoshu's scout. Ooh. Anyway, I think it would be better if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight into the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hand shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, executive manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone else of your concern of the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command, this cannot stand. I am afraid that I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You made your point clear enough. I, Otis. The yapping. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. I better stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you could just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found its closure. I don't think I'll be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. I'll follow if that's your order, manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It's probably okay. I can always summon them again if it gets too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. Oh, this one was a shorter story node than the last one. So what, we're on node 6 now? Is there another battle this time? This time? We open the door and then there's someone there? Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's a battle this time! Saru. Oh. No way. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I have to borrow. Okay. I have to borrow for extra. No, sorry, no. Not like this. Just eager for more battle. It's because intervallos are unvoiced. I personally find streaming intervallos harder than streaming like the cantos and stuff that are voiced, because you have to read. Well, I don't have to, but I do, right? I read every line out. I get out of breath. So like when you're in a battle, that's like the rest point. I know I still keep talking during the battle, but it's not reading out everything that everyone is saying, so I can take the breaks in between. You've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the ring's gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. Huh? Gatekeeping? Are you saying you have more to tell us about gates? Doors? Yep. That door over there, pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in all hyped about some canned... whatever it was. And then the wooden door with bandages, probably wrapped around the handle. Papa'd go there to cross out some vengeances from the book. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by the Thames subsidiary or something. Unlike earlier, where she only offered vague snippets, even just about a single door. Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed more solid to someone as clueless about the back door as me. Just far more cooperative than anticipated. Even after that Alan character roughed her up from what I hear. Gatekeep, girl boss, get caught in half! I think the last part needs a little work. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. I wonder if she'd changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know? Alright then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and then flashed a couple of doors with the blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? They all look about the same. Start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones. Shouldn't matter which one. It's like, Alan, this is the safest ones. Opens the door. What the hell? Is that Ricardo? No, I'm kidding. you imagine we open the door and then Ricardo's like sitting on the toilet? Whoops! I'm out. Sorry. Just as I reached for the nearest door as Heathcliff told me to, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory painted over in parts slipped into my mind. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know, let's go for a walk. Don't recall much about it. That memory just now, could it be tied to a rhino star? Let's start with that door. Okay, this one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved open the door and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and some other sinners. And this place is? Oh. Judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest. Most likely a park. Every sod walking here is dragging some animal along, which means they got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The walk the past Ryoshu mentioned in her memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. Sorry. But I like the park. Well, I just like the vibes because it's raining, I guess. The pieces clicked together and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? Should have finished my homework faster. Aww. Saru! Why isn't she getting any better? Gave her lots to eat. I know. You want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? Oh, there's this workshop Dad always visits. The door there's connected to a park. We can go right now. Ryoshu's childhood memory burned bright into my vision before passing. They voiced the doggo whine. Why would they do that? So you will feel bad. You're very right. They voiced Saru, but nobody else. That was her as a kid? Verily. Such gentleness. Dotsy? Most unlikely, young Ryoshu. Hey, Clock, who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on, you know it's not something I can control. GG. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Which probably means... Hey, why are you all staring at me? That's so random, what the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what? You guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. I guess only people who's connected to you, Dante. Then again, unlike how it was between Lindayu and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to Ryoshu. Guess it makes sense. Yep. Was that adorable hound that companion of old, young Ryoshu? Indeed. My one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment with a spiral driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. Aww, no. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal, how could such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day where Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room crying. You were not someone else. Dude, she was a kid! That was her dog! Who else? Of course it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day. And what I received was something called the Beast Bone Blade. A tanto that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way. I always knew there was something creepy with the Robo-Unk. So that's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Saru. That tanto was alive. Did you say alive? Bloody hell. Right, another that psycho. Her eyes were embedded within it with like adornments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that, why do you still mess with that art thing then? Let's just be honest. After seeing something like that, you just want to steer well clear, yeah? Right? And those things he called artworks were also cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't even checked out the other ring artworks aside from Albina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that, but yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes for real. Kira be like, you know what, now that they're all dead, let me level with you, let me be honest. I think that was, I didn't understand art. I think that was shit. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first, yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations? From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus must never expect understanding of the others. The uncanny, the horrible, there's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. But, nah, bloody hell. How do you even end up getting used to that kind of thing? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... To be fair, that's why Callisto got expelled and why certain Singular shot on him so bad. Yeah, to be fair. The scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled, but there was at once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors, crying from nightmares, in the eyes of spiders. There was actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day? I need to check something. We've seen enough here, let's go back. Yeah, let's. There's nothing we're checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, Ui quickly followed Ryoshu back. She stood in front of the artworks, covered in a sheet of cloth, lost in thought. Right here, there used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but that bastard went about fussing, saying he needed to practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Mommy, aww! What's wrong? Over there. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. What the fuck is that? That shadow of his thing. It's actually pretty funny if you think about it. Valencia expelled for some crime in family, Rian expelled because of prescripts, Matthias expelled for killing his bros, and this guy expelled because his art yeah, because his art shit. You've returned, Yoshihide. I've decided to attempt installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. Mommy, people were screaming. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced to the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. It would. You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to your room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Saru? No, too big to be Saru. The lacerated memories that can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it never truly reached her. See, this hollow void. This must be Araya. The sensation and emotion for what's been emptied begin to entangle with Ryoshu's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. So, the soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was in this small step. Alright, it's time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors, Alan pointed out. But unfortunately, none of the places we ended up at steered Ryoshu's memories any further. So, pretty much nothing here. Think we're done. Wait, what? How did they get in here? Wait, they're back! Startled, Kira pointed ahead, where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of some sort. Those ring assailants from before. Did thou not say thou hast sealed that door earlier? How did these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via a separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the ring nurse father's artworks. Get on with it! We need to move as many of these as we can pull out before we pull out. I thought Obo Uncle was what? He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here. Does his artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Oh my god, it's the classic. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, your art is shit. Wait, he's dead? Oh my god, we can sell this for a fortune. Bro, he's getting that treatment. Some pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them, pretty funny. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled with a pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name and their description plaques? Pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find the cause to harm the Wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay considering the ring's reputation. Yep, Otis is right. Better wipe them out before they try anything stupid. Guys, we got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with Sinclair's replies this time, but it should be fine. It should be okay. Let's go. Hi, sinners. You were ready for this anyway. You knew this was gonna happen. It's the same guys as earlier, right? Yeah, it's the same guys. It's the feral and impulsive guys. So it's kind of same. Okay. Are you? Yeah. Are you? Okay. I don't know if that works, but yeah. Okay. And then they lose their counters. Oh, pain. Me when I roll all tails. Oh no, that's just unbreakable. I think they did alright. I think we're on node 6, right? Node 6 out of 14, and then we're like at 11:30. I think we can still manage to do node... What the? I think we can still manage to do node number 7, and then that's where we'll end off, and then we'll finish it next week. No dungeon is quite helpful in estimating how long the canto is, though. I think actually the intervallo. I think actually intervallo is kind of... I think it's standard intervallo length, because I think the others were usually about 4 or 5 hours. Spring Cultivation was a bit different, I think, because of the minigame. the minigame did a lot of padding there. It made it take like 8 hours or something when I did it. Gotta do my Princess Cultivation. I was gonna say that it would have been nice to have another like intervallo with like a minigame or something like that, but I guess it doesn't really make sense at this point, for at least for what we're doing right now. It doesn't make sense to have a random minigame. Maybe the next one, who knows? We'll see. We probably plan something big for next intervallo. Yeah, it might be that this one is just extra closure for Kanto 9, and the next one might have like something special. Might have another minigame type of thing like Spring Cultivation did. I don't know. And also Kanto 8, we only got one intervallo. Yeah, the length of Spring Cultivation was essentially as if we got 2 intervallos in Kanto 8. So I guess it does make up for it a bit. How's it looking? Oh, there's 12 of them. Is this EX clear? Oh, I can't see the EX condition. Was it 10 or 15? I guess it's still 10 maybe. I don't know. I don't think I noticed, which is my bad. We don't talk about a certain collab. Well, I mean, unfortunately, literally nobody in the gang remembers that happened probably. I mean, like when we came back, it was like, feels weird, and they're like, must have been the wind. Even though we had like the slight mersault like lore drop there, we just hit with the must have been the wind after we ended the collab. What was that? No idea. I wonder if I can use the ring, like if I can blend the ring bleed guys with the what do you call it, with the blood fiends, or if I should probably do maybe like Kurokuma or something. I'm thinking about it because I do have a bunch of bleed units around, but I'm not sure how to fit them in. Because I think it would be better if I was doing this with a bleed theme. Yes. I mean, it's okay. I can still do this next week because I don't know if I would build them on time. I'm just having thoughts for like the future. My brain going like, bleed is bleed. Yeah, okay, this is probably still a 10 turn EX. It's clearing like it's nothing, so it doesn't really matter. You're taking 2 support units out of Bloodfeed team with Mur and Rodion. So I guess it would be better if we were using... Do you think it would be better if we were using like Kurokumo as the other units or something? I actually am not sure how to fit most of the latest season IDs into teams, probably. I think they fit in with any regardless, as long as... because they carry their own weight. Maybe. Bonk. That's what you've seen people suggesting. Kurokumo ID good for the bleed count. Maybe I should try checking it out, yeah. Dusting off the cobwebs on the Kurokumo gang that I haven't used. I got them and then I haven't used them. 5 ring plus Kurokumo. With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. You know, I'll take that and then I'll just leave it as a note just in case. You could be funny and put Faustina and Callisto Lu in a charge team. Wait, charge team. I'm gonna note down the ring and the Kurokumo combo, see if maybe we could get that for next week, but I don't know. We might get better, like... Wait, that depends if I can even get... No, I can borrow Mersault. And then by next week, you can already shard Rodya. If I put my thing on Thursday or Friday, I can already shard Rodya. I'll probably put it on Friday, so it's okay if we extend. Because extending on Thursday is tougher because it's still a weekday. Oh, because they're bleed charge. Ooh. I see. Yeah, I'll probably try. I'll try. And then I'll see if I can get shards ready for Rodya, and then maybe we could try and run that next week. We'll see. With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? Ryoshu kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but unfortunately, no other ring members were in sight. Right, but where the hell were those lot coming from anyway? Weren't just the first wave and had more of those sods legging it from the back, like they've been lurking somewhere else? According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does the designation "another corridor" refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display. If your company, if I recall correctly, designated it as the corridor of the middle nurse fodder. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as if she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she just locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to sell you, like hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as my home, and my memories of it are all fragments at best. This scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could. Accompanied by its tremors, we began to move toward the corridor of the middle. Wait, isn't this better to stop here instead of going to... Whatever, we'll go there anyway. I said 7 nodes so we could do half, so we'll do 7 nodes so we can do half. If you add REP, Ryoshu, Rhino, Mur, and Arcliff, you got 5 ID with charged bleed. Oh. It's another fighting node. A school. There are 4 enemies. Clear within 10 turns. I wonder if that means there's gonna be... Oh, wait, I almost forgot again. I keep catching myself. At least I'm catching myself before I enter. Yeah, we're level... Yeah, that's fine. The heck? They swiped everything that wasn't nailed down, huh? Fret not, I espy thither half thy worldly possessions, articulated fixer figurines, video game cartridges. I'm not talking about my toy box, okay? I had hella many of them anyway. My TV's gone. Couch too. As Kira said, only a conspicuous empty space was left where the television and family couch set used to be. Yeah. Oh, those! LCE researchers hauled them away. From the sound of it, they're going to set them up in their staff lounge. As for the leather and ornaments, they said they'd be selling them off. Yeah? Oda seemed to notice something the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. The corners of her lips curled into a faint smile as she spoke with feigned nonchalance. Who knows? With sufficient cooperation, perhaps they'd be more receptive to the idea of returning those items. Assuming much? I never said I wanted them back. Anyway, I'll tell you all about what I know. So come this way if you want in. These two doors here are made from paper and wood. They connect to S-Corp. And that one reinforced with steel, that leads to V-Corp. Backstreets where... Having lived here made frequent use of the doors herself, Kira was clearly the right person for the job of identifying where each door Wayfarer Company had access to explore led. Directed by Kira and accompanied by Alan, we checked the doors one by one. Good work! All the data seems to match. Thank you for your cooperation. Until there was just one back door left to open. And then it's gonna be like, oh, hiring! I'll get this now that it's empty too. I know this isn't anything new, but I gotta say, these back doors are just too bloody convenient. Them portals too. Our Heathcliff is actually kind of a miracle. He's 3 keywords and all of them he's technically at best. Oh. It ain't doing anything shady like the warp trains either, is it? Yours is as simple as turning the knob and entering. Seems to me you'll outpace your business rival in no time. I'm a bit hard-pressed to agree with the too convenient sentiment when it comes to using backdoors and portals, but... Since your intent was to claim Wayfarer's superiority over the current W Corp, I will take that as a compliment. Did I say something wrong? Every technology comes with a cost, Heathcliff. Aptly said. Well, this has been a workday relatively free of casualties thanks to the quality information you have provided. Do understand that Wayfarer Company's primary services include pathfinding, path security, and path maintenance. Each of these services is fraught with life-threatening dangers for our employees. Some never return after embarking on a pathfinding journey. Some are killed while battling monstrous entities, whose natures have not been confirmed yet, that appear in the liminal space between paths. It also costs a pretty penny to keep the secured path, well, secure. I would say our operating cost is on the rather steep side, especially considering that we are also trying to prevent our rivals from taking this corner of the market. Thinking back, I don't think I've ever seen Alan enter a door to a new location with his helmet off. It must be one of his precautions just in case. His dry smile and unsettling lack of reaction to anything are hints that he had simply seen too much to be faced by most horrors. Still, our work's gotten considerably easier for this job thanks to the help from everyone here. Honestly, this partnership is working much better than expected. Very well then, let's take a look at the last door. Ah, it's the door Papa used to walk through all the time. Hi Lou, happy birthday again by the way! Hope you had fun with your karaoke. I'm gonna check out the rest of the songs that I missed. Thank you for the lurk. I followed Kira to the door, and the second I crossed over the threshold, a breeze carrying an oddly familiar salty smell tickled the... I can't read all of a sudden! Okay, wait. Crossed over the threshold, a breeze carrying an oddly familiar salty smell tickled the tip of my clock hands. Thank you, sure did. Hell yeah, you love to hear it. This connects to somewhere in the Great Lake area, it seems. Welcome to U-Corp's giant Stingray port ship. Stingray, huh? Why does that ring a bell? Hang on a minute. Wait. It's that place in it. That port ship that has Salon de Mollet. The private hair salon. Heathcliff chimed in with a shudder as though the sheer weight behind his words terrified him. Oh, doth it signify then that we shall finally be made audience to young Heathcliff and his hairdo most luscious? Quit it with the luscious nonsense, lad. Why encourage me now when you were so cavalier about me busting my villainous ass back at the lake? Indeed. Alas, 'tis true the punishment wrought upon our merry band had severely outweighed the crime. Would thou not agree, young Heathcliff, that to put the coupons to use would remedy the pain a smidge? Here comes fully circle, yeah! Ah, bugger it. I ain't even got anyone to spruce up for anymore. Oh, sweet! Then can I use them? We were regulars at the Molyneux place, Papa and me. Papa would ask the middle fam for a favor, he'd bring loads of coupons back home, and he'd give away a hair coupon every 10 visits. So, you see, what am I even yapping about all excited? Kira, who seemed ready to launch herself into a cheerful rant, came to an abrupt pause like a bike tripping over a ledge. Her face fell as she lowered her gaze and scuffled a pebble away. Looking back, I guess Papa did hella care for me, so why? But it's true, those guys mostly went out of their way to get me out of there even though they didn't know me so well. Why's it gotta be so complicated? Matthias gave you that unesthetic BC. The heck's a BC? Bowl cut. Bro, listen. Like I said, it's not how you shorten these things. For some reason, Ryoshi almost seemed gleeful to hear Kira correcting her acronym. Aww! It was reminiscent of that self-satisfied look she'd get after confusing us with these acronyms, especially during the early days of our bus journey. Thinking back, ever since Sinclair's translations became reliable enough, the sinners had less reason to voice their frustrations with Ryoshi's acronyms, which in turn gave her fewer causes to snicker about. Not sure why, but something tells me she might be making her acronyms ridiculously incomprehensible on purpose. If your conjecture is correct, Executive Manager, she has one tasteless sense of humor. From what I recall, the toys and games he was into were pretty retro. Must have been annoying to play along. At first, but the more I played along, the more I got into it. It's still corny and juvenile shit, though. I know aught of the conflict within thee. Trifling and apocryphal they may be, yet all were compelled to peer hindwards at the interest of the family. Yeah, I wanted to know what Papa was into, really get what he was talking about. Besides, I needed to know these things if I wanted to chat him up and talk about a mutual subject, so... He'd tell me all about you all the time, Yoshihide. Proud shit. Not a day that he went without him saying, Yoshihide learned this in 2 days, or, yo, this was Yoshihide's fave, you know? Too bad I wasn't there to tell you that his words weren't worth shit. I once thought of him the same as you do now. A good man, at least among the nurse fathers, caring enough to bring me gifts. But one day I realized he'd never understand the things I really cared about, even if his life had depended on it. One day, thou sayest? Pray tell, was there aught that had changed thy perception of that man? That... I don't remember when or why. It just happened. Wait, I know this. I might know this. Wasn't it something that happened at school? Papa told me that things were getting awkward between you and him ever since you quit school. Bullshit. I've never been to school. Never even thought about wanting to go to school. Matthias must have been talking out of his ass again. No way, bro. I even saw a clip of it. No way, bro. The clip was in 4K. What? Suddenly one day... Oh no. Papa showed me that video of when he was teaching how to use these doors. I even saw a baby you going off. I'm off to school, Dad, in that video, so I'm pretty dang sure that I don't. As Kira went on, Ryoshi's confidence from her initial retort seemed to slip away. I couldn't blame her. So much of her memory had been mutilated. Ryoshi didn't sound like she was denying it out of hand, though. She seemed to mean when she said that she'd never been to school or never even wanted to. I want to glimpse that fragment of the memory that made her say that. The moment I willed it, a scene from her past suddenly flashed across my eyes. Very well, Yoshihide. I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. There is a subsidiary of a ring. Academy. You sure it was a school, not an art academy or something like it? Wait, that kind of makes more sense. Yeah, it must have been an academy, not a school. Academy of Art. Ryoshi muttered a few words as if they were pieces of a puzzle she was assembling. Then after a brief moment, she turned to me with an astounded scoff and a look of mild irritation. Lock. You deserve a smack. And then lightly slanked me upside the head with her scabbard. What was that for? This memory sucks, Clock. I would have been fine without it. This new art on Kira gives her a decent booba size. Oh, I gotta look again. It seemed natural though, so I think it's good. It's good for her. But at least I got to remember the incident that changed my perspective on Matthias. I keep looking at the scar rather than anything else on Kira right now. Dad, how do I go to a school? A school, Yoshihide? Well, I don't see why you would wish, let alone need, to go to such an institution when we, nurse fathers, are here to provide you with all the education you require. You would later find our unique style of homeschooling to have been much more enlightening than trudging through any of the nest formulaic educational systems. But Dad, I saw him in a picture book. And I don't have any friends here. Oh, Rhiannon is pointless. Right, it is true. There are qualities that can only be learned through group erudition that engenders competition. Very well, Yoshihide. I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. Really? I intend to send Yoshihide to an academy as part of my educational curriculum. There is an Academy of Art subsidiary of the Ring. Companionship with other talented children approximately her age will nourish the spirit of inspiration and guide Yoshihide's growth. Thought she was like a... I think Kira is definitely at least a teenager. The prescript approves. But Callisto, I'll tell you now that you might be making a mistake. And how are you so certain of that? Do elaborate if you can, hand puppet of the prescripts, by whom every aspect of existence articulated. What do you even know of choice? Of what is right and wrong? And off they went. Perhaps a little more situational awareness would have prevented what is to come. Callisto had found me a rather decent academy. The artworks that used to scare me when I was alone wasn't so bad when I was with other kids. That's not quite it. It'd be more accurate to say I started to understand people's perspective on beauty. Of course I would, when all we ever did was nod along to the lecturers and spout purple prose, all while making pincushions out of people's bodies like it was nothing. Our lesson today will focus on corporist techniques. Now take a good look at the diagram here and then the mannequins before you. Weave the blood vessels into the same pattern as the diagram, and I don't even know why we're learning about corporate stuff in this day and age. Right? I don't even get what the point of this slog is, typing and shaping blood vessels to make a color like a drop of ink can do better. I read that in a book. I'm more excited to learn about Cubist technique than this crap. Honestly, why is this washed up movement even part of the curriculum? It's just boring, shallow gore stuff. No, it's gory, but it's boring and shallow only because you guys are bad at it. What? You're just mad because your daddy's a lame corporist? Oh, is he? No wonder her stuff is just as... Ow! I was taught that people who say bad things about my family deserve to get their butt kicked. Then bad-mouthing Callisto wasn't actually what set me off. I didn't have any special reverence or attachment to family like Matthias did either. It's just... that was what I was taught to dislike, that's all. One of those tantrums kids of that age have. Kids will be kids and all that. I'm home, Dad. Hey, buddy, you're home early. Aw, man, it must have been playing rough today, huh? You've got dust all over. Got into a fight. A fight? Yeah, they kept saying dumb things about class stuff, so I smacked them. What about you? They didn't hit you anywhere, did they, buddy? On my cheek, but it's okay, because I punched them in this many more times. Did I do good? That's my girl. Dad? Where are you going? Oh, yeah, no, just some business. What, is this guy just gonna go and kill the kids? This guy? Why don't you sit tight and work on a coloring book? Dad'll be home before you know it. Okay. Is bro business? No, it's family business. I ain't seeing what's so bad about taking care of them on your own. Those snotty sods don't learn respect unless you beat them into it. Ha! If only you'd been a simple-minded fool like you, then the story would have ended there with a pat on my head. What? Papa, I mean, middle never doesn't stop there. It never does. You hurt a member of a family? That automatically gets you written up in a book. Yeah, and he did what he did in the end. Huh? What the fuck, man? You killed... Oh, he killed the teacher, and then he left the kids fucking crying. What the hell? The Matthias slander born from this note has been amazing. This guy, man! You even ruined the blackboard. How are they gonna learn? Even after you... This guy, man, he's not thinking. There you are, Yoshihide. Class starting already? My diligent little girl. Wonder who she takes after. Dad? I know. I said I'll be back before you know it. But I got lost trying to find my way through the ring bastards' tricky mazes. You know how they are. Oh yeah, and there are so many sniveling brats here. Well, as for the crimes, they slapped my buddy's face hard enough to leave a mark, and that's an arm for you. As for the instructors, well, anyone will agree they did one sorry job of keeping these tykes under control. In that case, pursuant to Title 2, Section 52 of the book, execution by beheading, they clearly don't got much more use for what sits on their shoulders, huh? So, how'd you like it, buddy? Papa's the best, ain't he? How dare he! Such senseless, barbaric violence, Callisto! The fact that it's Callisto who's like, what the fuck? I don't know why that got me. This is an elementary school filled with children. We are fighting Yoshihide. I need to unsheath the relic. This dude! He can't be for real. Uncultured, uncivilized animal. Aww. Aww, Yoshihide. Do not be discouraged, dearest Yoshihide. I have eyed out yet another academy worthy of your talents. It is a much more significant and prestigious institution this time. I assure you, even an intemperate berserker like Matthias wouldn't dare force his way into such a place as he did with the previous academy. Don't wanna... Yoshihide? I don't wanna go to an academy. I don't wanna go. I don't need friends anyway. For all his posturing, nothing that was ever important to me held any significance to Matthias. He took away a lot from me just to feel good about himself. So, I hoped he, more than anyone, would never find out about the things I held dear, because I was afraid he'd take them away from me just like he did the others. But he'd always catch on faster than he had any right to. Every contract that took me away from the House of Spiders made me tremble in anxiety, because I was worried about... I don't remember what, but I do know that I could never stop thinking about my room. So whatever occupied the room in my absence must have been the most precious thing to me in the world. Aww. The scabbard, which had been stirring lightly as Ryoshi recounted her past, began to rattle audibly. It's doing that thing again. She patted the scabbard with a gentle, reassuring hand. The scabbard that was once Araya, a memory without attachment. It appeared to me as though she was pacifying a crying child. Seeing the gesture, Heathcliff briefly cast a sullen yet faintly expectant gaze between Ryoshi's scabbard and my device. He must have been thinking back to the last conversation with Catherine. But Catherine's existence, unlike Araya's, was erased by the Golden Bough itself. I doubt this device could do anything for Heathcliff at this point. This intervallo kind of convinced that Callisto is much better than any of the Nurse Feet Nor's are. I mean, yeah, he was the sensible one in this situation, bro. He was just like, I enroll my daughter in school. My daughter has a little scuffle, but it's okay. My co-parent decided to murder the teacher and destroy her school. What is wrong with this man? From everything we know, the ring nurse father seems to have been the least awful parental figure in your childhood. We just, like, it just came back to it. Oh, yeah. Then no Robo-Unk was such a radical guy. He sent you to an academy like you wanted and got angry on your behalf? Oh. Hazy memories, almost forgot to mention. A few days after that, Callisto left a snowman by my pillow as a gift. It was made of heads. Heads? Yes, decapitated heads from the incident at the academy threaded into a skull. Oh, okay. That sucks. Never mind. It's pretty okay outside of his trash out. Yeah, if we just ignore that he sent an art piece related to the incident afterward, that was a pretty okay response, you know? Had he picked literally any other art movement, he would have been a better father. It's because his art was shit! Thinking back, there was one sorry excuse for art. He's sorely mistaken if he thought some low-effort bullshit like that could make me feel better. That could have spared us the details, Lass. What would that cover? Do you guys want to head back? Hang on. What's up? Gonna get that luscious treatment before heading back? Shut it, you. That ain't it. Look there. Those blokes walking out of the salon. Even here, it's you guys? Falvis, ain't they? They found us. Even here, it's these guys, and they were walking out of the salon. Oh my god. Would not be odd to find a field branch of the Ring's art movement in different districts of the city, especially that of the Faust scale, however. Various evidence, such as their mass and the fact that our group has immediately drawn their attention, suggest they are in the same pack as the one making regular incursions in the House of Spiders. See, she actually had decent booba. It's not that noticeable, but I get what you mean. This is LCB speaking to Team Leader Alan, requesting immediate commencement of lockdown sequence. Copy that. Then why don't we... Holy shit, guys, stop! Bloody hell, what? Don't you know where you are? You're smack dab in the middle protected turf. Cause a scene and Bros and Sisters of the Middle will be here in a second. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Oh, I guess that's why there's 4. There's gonna be middle guys. We've already drawn the Wing's unwanted attention, and we certainly don't want the middle coming after us to the House of Spiders too. It sounds like you got a GI. Talk. Ever played whack-a-mole? Like, why give ourselves a countdown? Just head through the back door now and beat up whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk in through the door. She puts forward a sound strategy, Executive Manager. As long as there's no high-ranking officer among them, it would be to our benefit. Well, then let's just do as Kira says. We don't want the middle to come after us about that. Ricardo writing down even more like crimes right now. Oh, next crime of Limbus Company. They walked up to the hair salon with the fucking coupons, but they didn't use it and they just left. And they didn't even give it back to me. Crime. That's the next crime on the list, right? That was quick. Alan blinked, shooting us a puzzled look as our entire squad came pouring through the door long before he finished the lockdown sequence. Due to newly emergent complications past the door, we have concluded this location is optimal to intercept and engage the infiltrators from the Ring. This location, you say? Ah, wait. This door leads to a zone under a Syndicate or a Wing's protection, doesn't it? Better idea to fight here, then. Happy to work with someone quick on the uptake. It wasn't long before the Falvis began rushing through the open door. I didn't want to summon them while they were relaxing, but, well, it can't be helped. And I summoned the Simmers back to work. I mean, oh my god, does this mean I'm gonna get this loading screen? Because this is... This is really my loading screen now? This is my life now? Oh, this is a new guy, Spontaneous. Oh, but he's still blue. I guess he's still similar. Wait. I wonder if it's okay to... I wonder if that's okay. Let's see. Ricardo might lighten Limbus' sentence after executing Matthias. Thoughts. Have you ended here? Yes? Yeah, we'll be ending on this note, so yeah. This is our last node for today, and then we'll go back next week to finish it. If you recall correctly, they made an option to change... They did? I'm gonna look for that. I do not want to be seeing that CG every time I open the game. They did? I'm not really sure. Sometimes if it's like little patch notes of stuff, I don't recognize it right away, and then I just ball and see when it changed. Like the inventory. They moved the inventory down, right? I kept pressing on top every time. It's in the works to be done, but not actually. Oh! That can't come soon enough, so I can stop getting weird loading screens. Did you see any vids on the facade system? Is that the skin system? I know it exists and I know it's out already, right? But I haven't seen any vids on them. Yeah, it's funny. Man. Matthias giving us the fucking worst shit. Best option for us to rewatch a different story note to override the loading CG. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I should just do that. One of LCB Issue's moves is her 1 coin slide. And then you put the slide on someone else. Oh my goodness. Wait, so does... Yeah. Slide to the left and slide to the right. Wow, I think that was too much for 4 HP, Honglu. Think we didn't have to call in a show for that one. I don't make the rules though. You do you. Pop off, King. Put it on Hanafuda-ish and you see Ish slide like 5. Oh my god, so it works like it maps the animation for a certain like skill 1, skill 2, skill 3 into the respective skill 1, skill 2, skill 3. Is that how that works? Is that why she slides back and forth 5 times? That's so funny! Yes! Oh my god. I gotta see that. She Faust is kind of broken. She just slides around without moving, given the right conditions. Damn. Guess what team I'm running today, guys? And then you just have a bunch of guys who are facaded into different IDs. Okay, I think we're EX clearing this no problem again. I haven't really been paying too much attention to their... I forgot what it was called, but their color thingy that gives essentially another bleed or sinking. It hasn't really been affecting us too badly in the regular battles, so I guess it's okay. Probably it will bite us in the butt a bit more when we're in a focus battle or with a boss. I'm gonna assume the boss has that mechanic too. It's probably gonna be Emil. I forgot the last name already. Imagine Rian sang with Pekka Ji sang and he used Furioso. Wait, what the fuck does Furioso look like in like a regular, on a fucking regular ID? That's gonna be so funny. Really mostly relevant for the 2 Falvis IDs. Ah, like if you're using them, it's more relevant to be paying attention to it. Is that what you mean? I mean, it's just 3 guys. And 2 of them are staggered. I think this is the last turn of the whole fight. He stabbed like 11 times before he do the high jump. Damn. You gotta make extra sure that it worked, you know? Yep, that was the last turn. Glowing Kira. TLDR, those 2 much better for focus encounters than Rogen's. Very much the better of the pair. Oh. I see. Well, yeah, if I get to assemble the ring team for next week, you're gonna see me being a noob again. Yeah, that's enough for today. I don't think I have it in me to read again. I think it's a solid bit to end off on anyway, because based on these spider threads, we should be done with this room area and moving on to another one. So it's better to cut it off here and then finish this next week. Also, there's a funny Lantern Dawn if you have an AoE skill 3. Oh? Good progress. Yeah, we're halfway there. I'll probably schedule it on Friday again. That way, how far along the shop are you? Oh yeah, that's a good question. Can I get... I can't. I'm nowhere near. It's gonna have to be the mirror dungeons for me. I'm nowhere near. It's because we also don't really have a lot of battle nodes. We fought like 2 or 3 times, and she bites the air and everyone explodes. Oh my god. Yeah, we're not very far along. We're almost halfway, but it's still a lot. He's at 1k. It's gonna take a while. But I am still running my mirror dungeon for the week. I probably could run a few more mirror dungeons after the fact to try and push this number up. MDs give 200 base if you do floor. Okay, yeah, then it's just a couple of runs. 3 runs? 3 runs and then I'll get Mersault. That's not so bad. I can do that. 3 runs, get Mersault, and then yeah. Because I don't want to do 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. Just got enough 1k before the final node. The 100% bonus is gonna take a while. Yeah, just gonna have to thug it out and empty. If we get that ring team next week, maybe it will help for the name cards and stuff, but I won't hard grind aside from getting him this week, I think. Yeah. And we'll set this on Friday again because Friday is more lenient for extending. So that way we can ensure we'll finish. Yes, yes. So, halfway done with the intervallo. Looking forward to finishing it next week. It's nice seeing more tidbits of the past, but the little Araya. I like how the sword, the sheath rather, I like how the scabbard is reacting to things. It makes it a little bit, a tinge sad, but it's nice to see that she's still with us in spirit. Alright, that was fun. But we gotta run. Thank you very much for joining today's stream for, I still don't know if this is twinning threads or twining threads, but thank you for joining us for the twinning threads. I'm gonna assume it's twinning again. Thank you for joining for the twinning threads part 1. We'll finish it next week for sure for the second half. Have a nice day or night. Sleepo time for you. Okay, take care. Have a nice rest. The 80 EXP tickets cost 1,200 event currency to... Oh my god. That's a lot. That's even more than we're sold. Good luck to us. Yeah, snooze. Thank you, thank you. See you guys next week. Oh, and next week we'll start on Tuesday, and Tuesday's anniversary. I haven't actually like posted the anniversary stuff yet, but yeah, Tuesday's anniversary. Yeah, it'll be special. Twining is with 2 N's and twinning is with 1 N. Oh, I didn't realize there was a spelling difference. Okay, so it's oh wait, I got it the other way around. So it's twining. Okay. Twinning is 2, twining is 1. So this is twining threads. Okay, got it. Thanks for clarifying that. All right. Good night, everyone. Have a nice day or night. Take care of yourselves and see you next week for the anniversary and for part 2 of this. Bye-bye!